What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 33 update. This week they've added a new 5-hour timed mission and some other future upvote changes. Let's get into it, shall we? So, Icarus Week 33, Time Pressure number 2. Icarus Week 33 update, Time Pressure number 2. Another time limited mission, the beginnings of new alteration system, and the addition of deep ore veins to outposts. Week 33 brings another time-related mission to Icarus. Building off the positive response we got last week, this week you'll see Flatline Research will have you scrambling around to repair a biological containment pod under a ticking clock, so prepare yourself accordingly. We have also made an adjustment to how certain stat-based talents interact with other applicable deployables, and made a range of community-driven patches and fixes, thanks to your input on Feature Update. You'll also find an update on our dedicated servers project below, and a taste of what's on the horizon in the near future. So this week they added the new mission Flatline Research. It is a 5-hour mission at 3 skulls difficulty, and this week's mission involves keeping a failing biological containment pod alive while collecting parts to repair and stabilize. On this mission, what you go and do is basically keep the containment pod stable by feeding a constant supply of enzymes that's mostly found in the local wildlife. Larger and more dangerous creatures are, unfortunately, the best source of these. And next we have the item alteration system. With the item alteration system, this update kind of lays the works for that. It's not in the game yet, but they have been working behind the scenes to get the item alteration system going. Lets you modify various attachments for various items to alter whether they provide extra stats or effects. They give some examples here about a pickaxe possibly getting more gold with an alteration, or adding a bleed effect to axes. We also have the data decentralization update. As you may notice, there is another branch on Steam, not publicly of course, but it is a Steam DB branch. This is where they're basically testing the data decentralization and trying to move towards more dedicated server host options and whatnot. So look forward to that coming sometime in the near future. And next we have the feature upvote. All this section is basically telling you guys is that if you go to the feature upvote section, which is icarus.futureupvote.com, and submit a feedback, just be aware that if it is marked as done, that means that the issue has been addressed, not necessarily been fixed, and please use the future upvote. Guys, that is honestly it. We got a mission this week. We're going to go through some of the changelog real quick and go through it and check and see what is the most important things in our changelog here. Of course, they got several entries here in the changelog about Flatline Mission and how they added it to the game. One thing that we'll mention that we see is custom items no longer display a star. Used to make a custom item or an upgraded item, you had a star next to it, but instead they now have a nice golden glow behind the item. So as you can see here, we have 2 flint arrows. One has extra stats, one does not. And this one has kind of like a goldish outline to it, where this one does not. So you can see any kind of items that's got extra projectile damage or whatever, now has a golden hue to it. And also, as you can see here, they are adding a new unique creature boss for Flatline Research. They did add a recipe in the cooking station to allow butchering of high-quality meats, allowing conversion of other meats into raw meat. And as you can see in our inventory here, we have a fatty T-bone. We can convert 1 fatty T-bone to 3 raw meat. Like so. So you can break down higher tier meats into lower tier meats in your cooking station. And as I said before, deep ore veins now spawn in outposts in the same way they do on prospects. Here's something that's pretty cool I've seen in the patch note this week. If you have an outdated GPU driver, it will recommend you to update the driver on the title screen. It's a pop-up notification to the title screen if the player's GPU is using a different version earlier than our recommended driver version. And of course, this only applies to NVIDIA or AMD cards, which are at or above their minimum requirements. Berry jam and glass jars are now allowed to be consumed from the hotbar. Fixed an issue where the electric furnace wouldn't connect to the power network. They added decoration statues for the scorpion, bear, and polar bear to the rustic decorations bench. And over at the future content and art, I'm not quite sure what this means, but it says first impassable block out on blue and green quads. That could either mean quadrupeds or quad bikes. I think it's probably quadrupeds. Looks like they're adding quite a few items to go into the swamp. Not currently in the game, of course, but these are all future content and art. And other than that, guys, I don't believe there's anything else in the patch notes that we haven't went over this week. So it looks like all we really got this week was a 5-hour mission, some more details into future updates, and some changes as far as the future upvote. And guys, that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.